So hey guys, so this is the last part of this video series. So this is the last motion profile that I'm gonna discuss today. I'm gonna discuss the higher order sinusoidal. So the graphs look like this. If you see acceleration, also for example, they have some sort of, for example, curvy, these kind of things and those kind of things. Okay, so if you see all the jerk, those kind of things, they are higher order. It means that they have a curvy shape or those kind of things. Okay, if you remember the previous one, it means that the first order sinusoidal. Okay, so this one I don't have in here the the differential of the acceleration, but for the jerk this one would be messed up. So if you even see, for example, for this one, even for example the jerk, those kind of things, for higher order of these things, he has nice graph and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you do the, for example, if you do the higher order of this one, if you do the differential of this, for example, this one is acceleration. After that, after the acceleration, what it is? After the acceleration is jerk, right? So what is the differential of the, for example, sine wave? Okay, is a cosine, right? So the cosine of, for example, 0 is start from 1, right? So at the beginning you have a infinite snap. Okay, so it won't be nice. Okay, so later I will try to find a graph of it. Let me draw the thing for you. So if for example this one is acceleration, so what is the differential of a sine wave like this? Okay, the differential of something like this, because the differential of sine wave, it is cosine, right? So the differential of the cosine, rather than starting from 0, it will start from 1, and after that from 1 he go and continue, right? So okay, so if you see the thing, okay, so it would have a, okay, in here you have an infinite snap. Okay, so it means that this one still for higher order is still messed up. Okay, so with the new one, with the new higher order, for example, sinusoidal that I'm going to show you, this one we are fixing that issue. Okay, so you don't have this kind of things, you don't have this kind of issues anymore. Okay, even that, even for example, for example, the differential of the jerk or those kind of things, still there is no infinite or something like that. Okay, so this one is higher order. So this one is much easier to implement compared to the snap. So I can solve this one and I solve this one. Of course, I'm not going to share with you the formulas for regarding this. If you want to implement this one, first of all, I would be stopping you from doing that because, to be honest, this one, for you have to have a very high-end application to need this one. This one is overkill. Okay, there is no question of that this thing is overkill. But if you want to develop this thing, okay, I can help you to develop that, but definitely for money. This one is not something. It took me years to learn to how to do this. So when was the first time that I see this thing? The first time I see this in Colmorgan AKD. Okay, so these guys, they have a very good implementation. Okay, and if you are looking for a servo drive that come up with this kind of profile, you can buy them. Okay. So this is a guide to go for this kind of profile. Okay, so although I'm not gonna share with you that how the formula look like and how to solve the equation, but to just give you some idea how the thing is done, the way that this thing is done is that you combining the T curve and the sinusoid. So the formula is the mixture of two somehow. Okay, even that the way that we calculate some of the portion of the calculation is done like the way that we do it, like we're doing it for a normal T curve, and some portion is done like the way that we do it for the S-curve. To just give you some idea how this thing is done. So what is the pro and cons? So this one is much easier for the planning compared to the, thanks to the T-curve part of the thing, planning for the, compared to something like a snap. So a snap is also higher order. I think it's fourth order. They call it fourth order, I believe. So if, for example, they are fourth order, and this card also is fourth order, but this one is easy to calculate compared to that one. That one is a beast. After so many years, still I cannot to calculate the snap. Actually, I know only one vendor that they can calculate the S curves with the snap. Okay, beside that vendor, I don't know anybody else. The disadvantage of the sine cos. Okay. In a, for example, in a sine cos, for example, in reality, although you have acceleration, but the acceleration that you calculate, still the acceleration, this one is not true for the acceleration. Okay, you cannot to limit the jerk or a snap. Okay, so for this kind of thing, you still cannot to limit the S jerk or a snap. Okay. But for the one that we last time we discussed, for the snap one or even jerk, both of them you can limit them. Okay, so it is not like unbounded, those kind of thing. In reality, the way that we calculate the formulas, the jerk and the snap, they won't be in the calculation. Snap is a higher order. Okay, so the last thing that you're supposed to know, okay, if you are going for a higher order, okay, definitely if you do a triangle drive, not for all kind of, for example, motion profile, for example, for the long one, They don't make a much difference. The difference is not that significant. But if you do a triangle drive, if you remember the triangle drive, I will put it somewhere around here. So if you do a triangle drive, okay, so definitely a snap or even jerk, okay, so it will be performing better than this one, okay. And the reason that they are performing this one better in a higher order sinusoidal, what we do is that we are developing one sinus when we are doing the acceleration, another sinus when we're doing the deceleration. So what will happen is that if, for example, you are a triangle drive, okay, there are two sine wave, right? So they have to finish their sine, right? So what will happen is that on the middle you are some sort of stopping and you are restarting again for the deceleration. So this one, it is not that nice, okay, compared to somebody like jerk or, for example, like a snap. This one is a snap, so this one is higher order compared to the snap. In the snap, there is no discontinuation. He straightly go from one cycle to another cycle. So this one, it will overperform. But again, as mentioned earlier, okay, so for something like a snap, the calculation is a beast. Again, both the higher order sinusoidal and the snap, in my opinion, for majority of the application, they are unnecessary, okay, unless, for example, you are a high-end semiconductor. For example, you are working for some big companies like KLA Tech or for example ASML, or for example those, you need these things. Otherwise, for example, for normal people, these things is absolutely unnecessary. So this one was the end of all the motion profiles, those kind of things. So in the next video, it would be the conclusion and saying goodbye and those kind of things. So thank you for watching for this video. See you next time.